everybody, I'm Susan. Welcome to Plateau Art Studio, Art for Kids. I'm here to help you along today with an art project, so let's see what we're working on today. Hi! Alright, so we've got our butterfly today, and it's watercolor, so we'll be using our watercolor palette and a few brushes. So you're going to want a small brush and a medium brush and maybe kind of a medium large. So when I say that, I'm probably talking about, let's see, I've got this one here that has a really fine little point so I can get into small little areas. I was using this one a lot earlier. Let me clean it out. And this one's kind of a medium large brush, and that one will work well for the background. And this one too, if you have a larger round brush to get around that, this one works well too. So I'm going to use this one, and probably this one. All right, so this you do not have to trace. This is my sample. I was playing around with colors in the butterfly, so I'm not real happy with the butterfly, but you know, that's okay. So the next one I'm going to do, so this is my sample just so you can see it's done. It's just the big butterfly. It's like a monarch butterfly on the grass reeds. So this one is partially done, and this is where I can show you the techniques on using the watercolor. And I went with purple, all the different colors of purple. So I did trace this with a black Crayola pencil, like in your colored pencils. If you have colored pencils, then I just use that. Just because also it shows up better on this video for you to see it. Sometimes a pencil doesn't show up really well. So you do not have to trace this one. I like to trace it just because it shows up better. So yeah, let's get started. So the reeds, I'll show you a couple techniques on that. I'm going to continue with my butterfly. So let's see here. I'm going to get my brush wet, tap it, because I want water in it because we are working on watercolor paper. So I'm going to get my purples going here and swirl around. Get that going. I'll put this over here so you can see it a little better. And then I'm going to use you can use your white palette or the lid of the watercolor palette here. I'm using the kids Crayola watercolors just so because a lot of you kids at home have the same palette, so that you can see what color, so some of the colors are the same and stuff. So let's see, this might be a little different color than the first color here. So I do have, as you can tell, water. This is a really nice brush, so it holds my watercolor, the paint really well, and so I can just keep painting. If you do get that little puddle, then you just keep painting with it. Okay, you don't want a lot of standing water for a project like this. You don't want a lot of standing water on your paper. And I still have a tiny puddle here, so I can pull that color in between my little design. So just remember, you can do that. You can pull that color and keep painting with it. So you can start on the butterfly. If you decided to trace it, then you just put me on pause, and when you're done tracing your project, then come visit me. I forgot to say that. I'm just painting away and you're tracing. So if you've decided to trace, then please trace. Take your time, pause the video, and then come back and visit me when you're ready to paint. So I do have quite a bit of water in my little well of paint here, so I'm able to pick up that. And I have a little puddle of it on my palette So that's where I'm getting my paint from if you can't see it. And don't be afraid to turn your project around. I do that all the time when I paint. I'm going to pull this color down all the way. Okay, and down here I just put a little bit of blue, like a darker blue. I think it's dark blue. So I just dabbed the color in a tiny little puddle and I pulled the color up. That's all I did. Okay, and then I have blue over here, so I'm going to use that blue here. It's kind of a navy blue, between a navy blue and a very, like it's just a dark blue. Okay, I'm going to wash my brush, dab it, and then I've got this kind of dark burgundy, and I mixed my purple and red to get that. So this kind of dark reddish color here, like a burgundy, is, I mixed purple and red to get that. Okay, then next I have a different shade of purple. It's like a darker purple. Oh, it's darker. What did I do there? Let's see. I think I have a little bit of blue with my purple to get it darker. Yeah, there we go. So I did my purple with just a tiny bit of blue. Actually, that's still more red, but that's okay. And you choose whatever colors you want. You decide what color your butterfly is and the other butterflies, whatever color you want. Now I can darken this by going back over it once it dries, and then I've got a really dark burgundy up here, really dark. I think I went over that a couple times to get it that dark. Pretty sure, yeah. I like this better, it's not quite as dark. And then I have a little purple dot here. I stayed with all the purples, just different shades of purple and red. And let's see, so what should we do? I guess we'll use a little purple here and there. There we go. And I'm going to use a little red. If you get a lot on your brush and you've got kind of a puddle there, just don't forget you can pick that up with a dry brush if you get too much on there. So I'll show you. So I just wiped off my brush and I can dab that and pick up the extra, just all that extra there. All right, so what color should we paint the head right there? I'm going to use kind of a reddish orange, I think. It's something a little different and bright. There we go. And then your other ones too. Let's see. Now, when you paint your reeds here, you can just put down green. And then I'm going to show you that you can put different colors of green and yellow on there to really make it pop. So here on this side I can do some yellow. So just kind of play around with your green and yellow. I am using not the bright yellow, I'm using the kind of golden, kind of a golden yellow there. It's really fun. Now, how do you make green? You make green with blue and yellow. So I'm just going to use my green and yellows for that. And I can use, I have, let's see, let's use this darker blue yellow, or excuse me, this bluish green. Here, I'm going to mix that with the regular green, because it's going to make it kind of a darker green. And I can add the darker green along here, and it'll look like it's in back because it's darker and kind of like shadowed from this one on top. It makes it a little more interesting. Adding a little yellow on the top there just to, there we go. Okay, so I like that better. They kind of contrast there. It looks pretty. So now my little butterflies. This one here that I did, I wanted to show you, I went ahead and I used this golden yellow to paint my butterfly. And then I just wanted to be really simple, and I used a dark blue for here. And a little orange. Make sure you wash your brush in between, so you don't get your colors muddy. Now, something I want to show you on this is that if you paint something and you don't like the color, I can wash my brush, dry my brush, keep drying, washing, drying, and I can pick up that color. So I just kind of want to remind you that you can do that. And maybe you want it lighter, so you can do that. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. There's that one. Okay. And we need, I'm gonna make him green. He's gonna have a green body. There we go. And then I have this pretty blue one here that we can do with maybe like blue, and what color should we use with that? Little, let's see, we've got a purple one, blue and yellow's already pretty together, nice and bright. You can paint these different colors or all the same. That's up to you. You're going to design all your own colors. Going to make that one really simple. There we go. All right, so let's talk about the background. So I'm going to have you use like a large brush. This one I can use multi-purpose because it has such a nice tip on it. I'm going to just spread some water around like I'm painting with water. I want to get my watercolor paper wet, not puddles and puddles of water, just gonna get it wet. Just paint with water, and I'll show you what that does. All right, so it's gonna help spread your color. Now I'm gonna go with a nice bright blue. Wash your brush. Now I can put that on, and it's so easy to paint. My paint just flows right onto my paper, which is really fun. I'm not using enough water that it's puddling over, just enough to get my paper a little wet, just a little wet. Did I say that? A little wet, not big puddles. If you want really light blue, you add some more water and paint with what's on your paper. You can pull that color and keep painting with it, okay? So that's a fun little trick. If you want more color, use more paint. And watercolor dries pretty quick. So it will start to dry almost immediately. Unless you've got a river on there, then so try not to have too much water where it's running all over your paper. Okay, I'm going to add some more water here because it's kind of dried up. I'm going to be careful I don't get too close to my butterfly because I don't want the blue to run into my butterfly. And afterwards I can go around really close later and kind of clean it up later. Like I did this one. You know, you can go back and go around a little closer after the paper starts to absorb some water, so you don't have any puddles, and then you won't have a problem with it running over into other colors. Okay. So if you haven't traced, don't forget to draw in your the antennas on your butterflies. I always have an extra piece of paper down so that I can paint right off the edge and go all the way to the edge. Alright. And hopefully you're not pressing too hard. If you notice, I'm painting really just with the tip. I never really press all the way down. I'm just using a good, just, you know, the first part of my brush. I'm never pressing all the way down. So I just took some water again. I'm getting this area wet. Not soaking wet, just a little bit. Picking up color. And letting that flow. My next one, I'm going to have to try to show you how to use salt with your watercolor. You get a really pretty texture in the background with salt. Okay, so I keep going. I'll just finish everything. I want to show you one more thing, that after your paint is dry, I want to show you this, that I'm going to put a dot of water here. Okay, we're going to let it sit for just a second. And take a little paper towel, and look at that. I picked it right up and I have a white dot. So that's really fun. So this is dry now on my butterfly. And I can go around the edge with just a little bit of water. And look at that. I can take my towel and just press and pick it up. That's pretty fun. So let's try this. I put a dot of blue over here, but maybe I don't want that dot of blue. I like the white in there. So I'm going to wait a second. I don't know, I tried it already over on this side, so let's see if it works twice. Yeah, it does kind of work. I have a little bit of blue left, but that's fun. So that's another technique that you can always pick up paint by putting a little water once it's dry. And here we'll put a highlight up here. I'll do that up here. A highlight is where the sun hits something. So let's see how that works. Oh, yeah, that did work. Look at that. I'm always just shocked that it really works. Oh, that's fun. So there. So once you get all your blue done, here, let's finish this little guy and we'll be done. And then you can finish your project and just keep going. But again, if you get too much water, remember you can remove it with a dry brush. Okay, so let's see, let's do a really light green on this last one here, and then we'll be done. He'll match the grass reeds there that the butterfly is sitting on. There. I would love to see pictures. You can put them on, post them on my website, or email them to me and I'll post them on my website. I'd love to see your work. So anyway, you keep going and finish your background. You can use blue, you can use some different colors in the background, that's up to you. But there's a few tips on using your water. And when you're doing something with small areas, you don't want as much water as we used on the background because it would just blend together. You want to control more on small areas, and large areas you can have more water. So there's a little tip for you today, kids, and have fun with that. And next week I've got another project for you. So have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, I hope you had fun with that project today. I know I did. So tune in next week. We'll see what we have a new project next week. Okay, bye-bye now.